Hi, I'm Roel from the Commission for Children and Young People. This is a brief overview of Standard 3. I encourage you to also look at the Commission's online resources for more information and in-depth guidance. If you have a co-regulator, please also refer to their guidance on how to comply with this standard. Under ChildSafe Standard 3, your organisation must ensure that children and young people are empowered, have information about their rights, participate in decisions affecting them, and are taken seriously. Children are more likely to raise complaints or concerns in an organisation that empowers and listens to them. Organisations should create a culture where children feel confident to report problems, particularly if they are harmed or feel unsafe. ChildSafe Standard 3 focuses on what your organisation can do to empower children through building them up and strengthening their confidence. This involves building children's skills and knowledge so they can make informed decisions and have a greater say over their lives. It's also about how an organisation informs children about their rights and how an organisation listens to them. Children have a right to participate in the decisions that affect them. Participation is about giving children genuine opportunities to have their say and informed decision making. This requires organisations to listen, hear, and genuinely consider their views when making decisions. And this is not only about respecting children's rights. Policies and practices that are informed by children's views will be more effective at preventing harm to children and meeting their needs. The Commission's Empowerment and Participation, a guide for organisations working with children and young people, can help you implement this standard. To comply with this standard, your organisation must meet the following 6 minimum requirements. Minimum Requirement 3.1. Children and young people are informed about all of their rights, including to safety, information, and participation. Rights are basic entitlements that belong to every single person. Just like adults, all children have rights. You must inform children in your organisation about their rights, including to safety, information, and participation. Empowering children about their rights means everyone in an organisation, including leaders, staff, and volunteers, upholds and respects children's rights at all times, educates them about their rights, and supports them to exercise their rights. There are lots of ways that your organisation can inform children about their rights, such as having discussion about rights, developing a poster in child-friendly language, or including information about rights on social media posts. Remember that you need to consider the communication needs of all children, including those with disability, very young children, and those who best communicate in a language other than English. It also helps if your organisation educates staff and volunteers about children's rights so they can help children learn about them. Minimum Requirement 3.2. The importance of friendships is recognised and support from peers is encouraged to help children and young people feel safe and be less isolated. Children often view their friends as their main source of support and advice. They should be allowed to meet and enjoy time together, and your organisation should support their social connections and friendships. Children are more likely to tell their friends about being harmed before telling an adult. Letting children know they can raise concerns with your organisation about the safety or well-being of their friends and peers is a good way to encourage them to support each other. It's also important that your organisation challenges bullying or isolating behaviour because this can have a significant impact on children's safety and well-being. Things your organisation can do to support friendships and connections include buddy systems, promoting teamwork, monitoring group dynamics, and calling out bullying or excluding behaviours. Minimum Requirement 3.3. Where relevant to the setting or context, children and young people are offered access to sexual abuse prevention programs and to relevant related information in an age-appropriate way. We know that although awareness is growing, many people in our community do not know much about child sexual abuse and grooming and how to identify it. Sexual abuse prevention programs build children's knowledge and capacity to identify and act on inappropriate behaviour by adults or other children. They are delivered in a way appropriate to a child's age and to help them protect themselves from potentially abusive situations. Children are also taught how to seek help. You should consider if your organisation should provide these programs or other information that helps children understand sexual abuse and grooming and how to get help. The Commission's Guide for Creating a Child-Safe Organisation has information on what kinds of organisations should provide these programs. Many people report feeling uncomfortable and unsure about how to discuss personal safety and sexual abuse prevention with children, particularly young children. While it may be hard to find the right way to bring up these issues, children who are informed are better placed to raise concerns. Even if your organisation does not provide a sexual abuse prevention program, it is still important to help children know what behaviours are appropriate and inappropriate, and how to raise a concern if someone is making them feel uncomfortable or unsafe. Minimum Requirement 3.4. Staff and volunteers are attuned to the signs of harm and facilitate child-friendly ways for children and young people to express their views, participate in decision-making, and raise their concerns. There are a few parts to this minimum requirement. The first is that staff and volunteers should be able to identify signs of harm and abuse. We will go into this in more detail in Standard 8. The second part recognises that staff and volunteers have a role in empowering children and encouraging them to participate. Staff and volunteers may need support, information, or training to do this. Children need to be given opportunities to share their views and concerns, and to talk about what makes them feel safe or unsafe, and have a say in decisions that affect them. Remember, if children don't feel safe to talk to you about the small things, they won't talk to you about the big things. Some children find it easier to participate than others, so make sure you include and support all children to participate. This requires your staff and volunteers to really listen to children, but also take meaningful action based on what they tell you. Minimum Requirement 3.5. Organisations have strategies in place to develop a culture that facilitates participation and is responsive to the input of children and young people. Participation should be part of your organisation's everyday practice, as well as planned activities. Participation requires adults to listen to children, take their views seriously, and allow children to have a say. Your organisation should be clear about how you will listen and respond to what children say. Your organisation's policies should reinforce adults' responsibilities to listen and empower children. Minimum Requirement 3.6. Organisations provide opportunities for children and young people to participate and are responsive to their contributions, thereby strengthening confidence and engagement. This minimum requirement builds on the previous one and requires your organisation to create opportunities for children to participate and have their say. Children will see through token efforts, so their participation must be meaningful and purposeful. When you're making decisions that are going to impact children, include their views in your decision making. You should also let children know how you have responded to their input. When children are given opportunities and support to voice their views and concerns, and to talk about what makes them feel safe or unsafe, they feel empowered. They become more confident in themselves and the organisation. Children aren't always used to being asked about their experiences or what they want. You may need to support them to feel comfortable speaking up. Participation activities should be developmentally appropriate, inclusive and accessible and tailored to individual needs and abilities. What does it feel like when adults don't involve you in decisions that are made about you?
I think that when you do not consult young people, it says a lot about the organization as well as the young people, because it's not just about our opinion, it's also about whether you're considering every demographic that your issue affects, and we are the demographic. On top of that, young people have issues that they're facing that are very new, and online spaces and online communities that people of other generations have not had to experience. So if you're not going to have a conversation with young people about those spaces, you can't really make informed policy decisions about them.
What can organisations do to make you feel comfortable to participate and have a say?
I think the first thing to do is make it regular, not just to get the opinions of young people, but also to make sure that they know that it's an ongoing process, it's not just a one-time thing. That allows the young people to ease into it, because I also think the first time you shouldn't have high expectations of well fleshed out ideas. So yeah, help us ease into it, make it more of a discussion than an interrogation, and lastly, involve multiple young people, because it provides a sense of comfort and familiarity. When your organization speaks to children and young people, Do you inform the children and young people what has been done with their opinions and how it has contributed to the work that you do? What strategies does your organization have to make sure that young people can speak up and express their opinions?